Emotional abuse rarely leaves invisible bruises, yet its impact can be just as deep and lasting, or more so. It erodes confidence, distorts self trust, and slowly teaches you to doubt your own perceptions. Over time, your voice may grow quieter, not because you have nothing to say, but because speaking your truth once felt unsafe, ignored, or punished. Did you learn to survive by shrinking, appeasing, or staying silent? Healing after emotional abuse is not about becoming someone new. It's about reclaiming who you were before your inner power was taken offline. Let's explore how to rebuild self trust, strengthen your voice, and step back into your worth with clarity, courage, and compassion on your own terms. Let me tell you about Andrea. That's not her real name. Andrea stood backstage in the velvet dark, her hands trembling. Her heart thudded so loudly she feared the mic might catch it and broadcast it to everyone. She stared at the curtain, the hush of the audience just beyond. At 43 years old, she was a seasoned performer. She'd sung in small clubs and off Broadway venues, yet tonight she felt like the same little girl whose uncle once scoffed, "You think you can sing? No, girlie, you need to stick to pretty smiles. That's all you're good for." She lived in an invisible cage. Years of rejection echoed in her ears. "You're not remarkable. You're not marketable. You're too emotional. You should have given up by now." Andrea had lived decades wrapped in a lie that her worth was conditional, her dreams laughable, and her voice insignificant. None of that was ever true. She had internalized gaslighting from childhood, the sexism of the industry, and the trauma of being told she'd need to sell her soul or her body to succeed. No one saw the price she paid, not in missed auditions or lost roles, but in self-abandonment. Emotional trauma isn't loud. Sometimes it's a slow silencing of your spirit. Healing, Andrea would later say, felt like stepping up to a foggy mirror. At first, all she could see was a blur, her reflection obscured by shame, fear, and inherited beliefs. But as she wiped the glass layer by layer, she saw something shocking. Not someone broken, but someone beautiful. Have you forgotten who you are? Andrea's story isn't just hers. It belongs to every woman who's been told she's too much or not enough. Have you lost touch with your fire inside of you? Do you second guess your own voice, ideas, or beauty? Have years of emotional abuse made you shrink to survive? You're not alone, and you can return to yourself. Trauma lies to us. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, nearly 48.4% of women experience at least one psychologically aggressive behavior by an intimate partner in their lifetime. Emotional abuse, especially when experienced early in life, rewires how we see ourselves and what we think we deserve. But here's the truth that no one told you. Your worth is not negotiable. Your soul is not for sale. Andrea's turning point happened the night she stopped apologizing. That night, backstage, Andrea could have walked away. Instead, she closed her eyes and whispered to herself, "God, if I have this voice, I know it must be for a reason." She walked onto the stage. She sang not to prove herself, but to praise the woman who had survived enough to stand there at all. Her voice cracked, but then it soared. She felt raw, radiant, real. For the first time in decades, Andrea wasn't performing. She was being present. Here are 3 common mistakes women make when trying to reclaim their inner selves. 1, believing you need to be fully healed to begin. Healing is not a prerequisite for self-expression. It's a pathway to it. 2, trying to do it all alone. You don't have to walk this path without support. Community is a lifeline, not a crutch. 3, letting shame drive your story. You are not your past, your trauma, or your mistakes. You are becoming. Ask yourself, who told you that you weren't enough? What lies did you internalize about your gifts, your body, or your voice? What would change if you believed that you were already whole? Can you feel it? The stirring? That's the soul remembering who she is. Maya Angelou wrote, "You alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody." Andrea's story is not just a tale of recovery. It's a template for rebirth. You have that same fire inside you. And what about the shame, the doubt, the fear? They're just smoke. And you are not done rising. If something in you recognized yourself today, not in shame, not in fear, but in truth, that matters. Awareness is not weakness. It's your first return to power. I wish I had known these things when I was younger. It would have saved me years of misery. But I slowly learned and flourished, and now I am ready to share my experience, strength, and hope with you. You don't have to decide anything right now. You don't have to fix your life tonight. You don't even have to know when change will happen. You only have to stop pretending that what you're living with is normal, when it's slowly stealing your voice and your power. If you or someone you love is struggling with trauma, addiction, or patterns that feel bigger than willpower, support is not a failure. It's a lifeline. Recovery begins with safety. Healing begins with honesty. Change becomes possible when you stop doing it alone. You can move forward with confidence. How much time would you be willing to invest to move forward with confidence? How much would a toolbox of coping strategies to deal with hurtful emotions and problems be worth to you? I love learning many ways to deal with the trials of life. I strive to think of as much as possible so you can feel taken care of. Your rapid success means the world to me. Some people say they don't have the money or the time for essential mastery, but I want you to know that you will save thousands of dollars worth of taking courses and therapy and thousands of hours worth of reading books by spending 1/2 hour or less per day for 6 weeks in my course. If you're ready to take a grounded next step, one that works with your nervous system, not against it, I invite you to reach out. Let's talk about your needs. Book a free 20-minute call with me, and let's discuss what's possible for you. Essential Mastery exists to help you move from surviving to thriving with self-trust, from overwhelm into steadiness, and from coping into embodied leadership. You don't need to push harder. You don't need to become someone else. You need a path that brings you back to yourself, to you, to who you truly are. When you're ready, I'm here. Let's get you the help that you desire and deserve. My program is called Surviving to Thriving. Grab my calendar link in the chat. You can see info on the basic course to stabilize yourself. To see that, go to Marcia, Diane /Surviving to Thriving. I encourage you to join as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you infinite blessings on your journey from surviving to thriving. May the blessings be.